Hi guys, welcome back to MK Sportscars. We're back in the workshop. Well, we've had Halloween and we've had our fireworks. We've had plenty of fireworks going on in the workshop with the tools. And what we're on with next? We're on with this. The next one here in the instalment of a demo car, another demo car that we're going to be working on, which is an RX-5. This is going to be a stock engine one, and really doing it to a similar spec to what you'd build at home. Nothing fancy, nothing bells and whistles and everything else. Basically a standard RX-5, what we call the basic kit that we'd build at home. Yeah, it's nothing super duper special because it's all good out of the box, a bit like this one here. This one's done, you know, it's all great. You say standard, but it's not standard. It's high enough spec in standard spec. So what we've been on with, chassis has been made, and we've got the floor pans in, the pedal box in, the brake lines in. Now, that sounds all very quick to say and simple, but it is really. Got a nice billet pedal box, which you've seen before, and very easy to install. It's a few bolts to bolt it down in there, which is on the master cylinders here. And we've got different master cylinder sizes, so depending where you're running it. So front one, this is the front one here. Normally we run it's 0.7 on there, and then 0.75 on the rear. So 0.7, 0.75 and a 0.625 for the clutch if you're doing a Mazda. There is different variations on these master cylinders depending on the brake setups you're running, what engines, what clutch arrangements and things like that, so it's boosters and all of those. But generally that's the sort of standard setup that we do. So if you're out there and you're doing it and you're getting to that stage that you're going to fit them, that's what you do. And you follow the brake lines round. It was pretty much in the manual how they install, using these copper lines and also the copper lines for the fuel lines. You've got a fuel in and return in, and the brake T switch at the front. Now, I don't mean to harp on about this all the time, AVA stuff. It's boring, I know, but you have to take the exercise, making sure that you have 300mm separation between the fixing points and none of it is contacting the chassis. Now, if you can do that, it's pretty much, you know that you're going to be in control. So that's a good measurement. You don't need to get a tape measure out. It's a good fixing point. And some of them are closer than that, some of them further, but maximum is 300mm. We've got our Brady lines in here, which are going to go out to our calipers on here. And then we've got the front end chassis, which will have all the rockers. Now the bodywork panels on here are mock-up panels we're doing. We're going to be fixing all these in, and I think we're going to wrap this car. We've not done one before, so we're going to wrap it. Don't know what colour yet. Make a choice. Lewis is there behind the camera. Guess what his job is? Yeah, it's not mine. Wrapping the car. So good luck. He didn't know that. Look, he didn't know that behind the camera, but he is. No, him and Andy, they're going to have a go, I think, and try it. So we thought we'd have a go, and then we can come back and give you some feedback, really, on how easy it isn't to do. Because I don't know. Do you get feedback on it? Do you see that anywhere? I know Yanamize and all that, and the professionals do it and charge you probably tens of thousands of pounds. But do you know what? We thought we'd give it a go here. Can you do it at home, in the workshop or whatever, with basic tools and someone with, I want to say, basic skill sets that have never done it? So we're going to give it a go, and we'll give it a feedback on that as we go through it. So floor pans are in. There's a digital bar in here on this particular one for a 6-point harness, because this particular car we're going to build in a way that we can chuck you the keys. So if you come down here as a customer and you want to go out for a test drive, we won't be coming with you or supporting you in any way, as long as you meet the age criteria, which is, and your license is clean enough to do it probably. The age criteria, unfortunately, is a minimum age that we can do with our policies, and when you come down and have a chat, we can talk you through that. Then we can chuck your keys and you can take it out, which is what the whole idea and experience is for it. But also we're looking to possibly enter this in a couple of race meetings. It's possibly on the agenda as well, to see how a standard RX-5 standard RX-5 140, 150 rate, depending on what he makes, somewhere around there, will do in competition. So it'd be interesting to see what he does. So got all of that in, that's going to be going, and then, you know, we'll be hustling through the build. It is going to have an FIA roll cage on this, so we're going to put a roll cage on this as well. So it'll be something a bit different. So we'll follow this little blog, really. We've done a couple of Mazda builds where we followed it in a bit more detail. So we won't go into massive detail on everything, but we'll show you the basics of where we fit, like the fuel lines you can see in here. They're all in with double P clips on this particular one, and all within that, there you go, 300mm, 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 300mm sort of thing. So that's where we're at with this particular one. But follow this, the RX-5, it's going to be a demo car. Do you know what? It's going to fly through, we hope, on this particular one. We've got all the engine and bits stripped on this, so actually let's head over there and see what I've been up to on that. Right, so here we are. demonstrator engine. Now, we had a donor cart, we stripped the donor cart. This is nothing that you can't do at home with sort of basic tools to do. We didn't do it in anything special in any way really, but stripping the donor components out, which is engine, gearbox, diff, all the wiring loom, the clocks, and all the other bits and accessories. We got a list online, and then Josie's sitting about. We thought we'd check some of the issues that can be done with these, which was the valves and checking valve clearances. We found the valve clearances weren't the best. Josie found that. Everything else, pistons and bores and that, it's honing good marks on it. We wouldn't normally strip right into these engines, but the process wasn't going to be that if we found no issues. Compression was good, but then we checked with the valve clearances. We found that. So what we're going to be doing now, we'll do the valves, which Josie's on here actually. He's doing that right now. Doing those, shimming the valves, and basically he's got his little tools out, lapping the valves in. Here we go. I'm not doing it, look. Here we go. Say lap the valves in, guys. Did you know that? You probably know that. But anyway, lapping the valves in there, and it's got everything out on the bench, getting that all nicely done and shimmed up accordingly. And then we're putting a new timing belt on it. So it's a new water pump at the same time, which we've got down here ready to go on. And we are going to shim the oil pump to give it a little bit more oil pressure, but that's just a little shim that goes behind. So when you're in there, you might as well do these things. If you're taking your donor engine out and you know it's all good, putting it straight in, it's fine. This one we want to make it as reliable as we can. New clutch, and it's going to have a new light and flywheel on it. We'll put a new 4.9 kilo flywheel in it, new clutch on it as well. So this thing, and a new sump, because we'll chop the sump as well on them. It does give you a bit more ground clearance. We'll chop the sump and put that in. So this has now been sort of fettled, cleaned up. It will be. Got to do the rocker cover. We'll clean all the rocker cover up. New head gasket in. Should be good to go. So it should be refreshed. It's a light refresh, I'm going to call it, a light refresh. Nothing major that we're going through, but all the right bits on it, new seals, new gaskets where required, all of that, and same with the gearbox. The gearbox has been done, I think that's over, it's over the back there, Lewis, look, come on, hustle Lewis, hustle, 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 look, we're here. There it is, gearbox is here, over here, because this is the bay this is being built in, so the gearbox has been refreshed, and again, it's nothing you couldn't do at home. With your basic tools, you know, all we did was power wash this off. We checked the oils that come out, it's fine. We're going to put a new seal in the back, new front seal, and then it was primed and it's in the silver primer paint here. It looks really smart. I think it's come out really well. It's clean, and then you can see when it goes into the vehicle, it's going to look nice, clean and tidy. So nothing that couldn't be done at home. Really basic, simple tools to do it as well, and you can achieve a pretty good finish actually. So that's the gearbox on it as well. So engine's out, engine's being prepped, gearbox has been done, and then there's a few other jobs which we'll talk through on the next video maybe, which is like front and rear uprights and braking system as well. We'll get all of those and show you what we do with those and how we prep them as well. It's hard to show you every minute of what we do on the prep, but we do as best as we can for you guys. So if you're looking to get into a project and you're thinking, oh, that's a bit of me, I'd like to build a Mazda base kit, or even a Booster base kit, or Dura Power base kit, you know what to do. Hook us up, phone call and email, and you can turn one of these, which is a base chassis, into one of these, which is a ready road going car. Now this one's in. This is going to be doing some IVA stuff. We've got a little bit to do on this for IVA stuff, but it's pretty much going to end up that. It's going to look this, but with a cage. So dashboard, clocks, body panels, all of that. Difference is this one's got the original bodywork on it, which has non-moulded rear arches, whereas the new stuff's all moulded in arches. So, but yeah, and this has even got the stock Mazda wheels on it, which don't look too bad once they're painted up. Actually, they look fine. Clean the tyres up, you know, you can make them look respectable without having to spend an absolute fortune. You know, that's the goal of the Mazda. The ethos of the Mazda is keeping them to an affordable build at home, and you can have fast fun. If we can get 150 horsepower, which is our target for this, and 650 kilos, that's 230 brake horsepower per tonne. What's not to like? Well, that's it for this week, guys. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and guess what? Yes, I will catch you next week.
No. Welcome back to Kit Car Direct and MK Sportscars. Now it's a bit of a different sight seeing me and Sean in shot, but this is a bit of a different video. We're going to attempt to wrap the panels of the new RX-5 140 demo car, and neither of us have really wrapped a car before, so it's going to be a bit of a DIY experiment.
Well, but we're all about DIY here, aren't we?
Yeah,
build your car
this is true.
Let's wrap a car at home.
Right, we're not straight. Whee!
Hey!
Wait, before you, oh, you're touching now. You've sent it. It's fine. No, go on. You should be good there.
No, Lewis has done a great job. Mine's terrible.
You got that squeegee?
Get some in your pocket.
Get that come up. That's working. That's working.
Stop making horrible sounds.
Don't worry about bubbles for now.
That's the first beep. Beep.
Right.
Now we can.
Do we want to come up a bit?
Show you the finished article of the bonnet. Now that's taken what? How long?
Don't ask.
I don't even want to look at the time.
Down about
One eternity later.
I'd actually go as far to say it's a pretty decent first
I
attempt.
would say that's, you know, because it's fiberglass. It's not like a painted finish.
No.
It's already got some minor imperfections.
Right, yeah, we forgot to mention that this bodywork is also not brand new.
No.
This is off of a race car.
Yeah, which we're wrapping again to experiment with it all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say,
For
marks out of 10.
I would say a 7. Seven's a decent number. Signing off for day one, and that is the end result. I'm going to go home and get some sleep, and we're going to attempt the other panels tomorrow. So, good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Right, welcome back. It is officially day 2 of how not to wrap your car. And yeah, we've gone home, got some sleep, and yeah. Let's get on. We've got Sean off camera over there doing the side panels, and we've got the bonnet in all of its glory about to take a side stand whilst we carry on with the scuttle. Right, well, welcome back. It is officially now technically day 4 of trying to wrap these panels. Day 3 was not filmed because it was basically the entire day, and I don't have that many SD cards. So we've tried to wrap one side of this nose cone because we tried it once, didn't really work properly. Took it off and did it again, and it looks quite a lot better.
It looks better.
So we're going to try the same again on the other side, and hopefully it will work.
I think we've got the idea now.
Yeah, that's about it.
Execution, isn't it?
Got no skills. Where's that squeegee? Up a bit. Ready? What is that? Oh, it's the part of the pan.
One eternity later.
What would you describe wrapping your car to be as difficult as? Alright, well, welcome back to the next part of how not to wrap your car. It's time for one of the biggest panels on the car, the side panel. Right, well, we're a good proportion into the panel. We're just going and doing all of the like curvatures and bits. Got the exhaust hole here, and all the roll cage mounts holes in there. This corner is a bit of a tricky one because you've got to sort of stretch it in the corner. Well, I did. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. But this side is all laid down, as is the bottom side, and the next step is effectively to do the little panel in the top here. So it's well on its way. In conclusion, it's quite nice.
Quite nice actually. Never wrap your own car.
Right, welcome back to MK Sportscars and Kit Car Direct. We are on with a little separate video that we're doing, which is for the RX-5 build. Now, we've done a couple of these build videos over the time. This is going to be, as we said, the next sort of demo car. We've got the turbo car still here. and we'll be running that, not a problem, but we wanted to do a stock engine one again, with a little bit more spice to it maybe. So what we did from last time picking up, you can see we had some wrapping done on the bodywork. So we've wrapped it in this, I think it's called jazz blue or something like that, the bodywork colour. I'm sure it's jazz blue. It's quite nice actually, quite nice sparkle to it. And there's a separate video about the wrapping of this and what Lewis and Andy and how big the swear jar got with it, because it was big, how that got on. So watch out for that and how easy it is to wrap a car. Yeah, I'm not even going to say any more on that one. Right, but here we go, eyes down looking at the front of the car. Where are we up with? So we've got the 70mm core radiator on this. We've got it slightly bit bigger, so it might be doing some track action, this car, at some point. Got 2.4 quick rack on this. It's plenty quick enough for the track and plenty quick enough for the road. It seems to be the perfect balance of this. It's our front suspension that's on now. This is all in, and our we've put brand new rotors on it here. Don't need a cross Jordan venting. The solids is plenty good enough for this particular car with this sort of power. We don't really need it, and we're going to do a Willwood 4-pot on this as well. The bracketry is all on, so it's our own bracketry that we custom make for that. So if you're into MX-5 stuff and you want to fit the 256 with a Willwood, well, then we do the kit for that, whether it's another brand, M&R, GBS or whatever, but these all fit on the Mazda upright. Now these are all nicely shot blasted and powder coated to make them look nice and new. Moving on to the engine. Engine's in now. These bits have come back from powder coat with them vapor blasted and then coated in a powder coat and a wrinkle finish on the plenum here, and then we'll be doing some ducting here that we're just hand making. Don't normally need to do it, but we're just doing it a little extra mile on that for the air filter. This will twist around and the air filter will go in here, so make a little cold air feed, because the cup nose cone has the ducting in the front, and we thought that would be nice to direct that cold air feed into there, keep the intake temps down as well. So on with here, exhaust system, new exhaust manifold and the link pipe. We've put the largest 720, it's like the cup exhaust actually, we've put on there. Noise is never a problem with both silencers, but this will be even quieter if we're going to do a little bit of track work with this car. Everything else is all in. Steering column, that's all done, refurbed. Steering link bar, remembering that when we do this steering link bar, it's something we do as an exchange item with you guys. If you're buying a kit, and we modify that to length, because it's a collapsible column that goes down to there. Throttle body was all nicely vapor blasted, that's all in, and then we're just doing linking up, making a new link pipe we have for that, and we're going to make this, we've drilled out this on the rocker cover and put in a different T. This normally is a straight, because we're going to go to a catch tank just on here as well. We have done the coolant reroute kit. We've run it round on this side. Now you can do it both sides, there's different kits out there and available, but if you buy some of the aftermarket kits, it has a spacer and it pushes out here. You do have to trim your bulkhead, which is what we don't like. I think it looks a bit ugly when you have to cut a big hole in it here, so we've gone with this direction for that reason. And then under here, all the wiring's in now, so our loom all mounted onto our ECU panel. Loom's all installed, Motorsport Electronics, ECU, the 360 there, and might see that change to something else, but we'll discuss that nearer the time. The wiring's all gone in for that. It's a plug and play loom that we do, so it all literally is plug in here, plug in for your coil packs, plug in for the injectors. We're just going to put some new injectors in. We decided that, in fact they've just literally arrived, there's the box. The standard injectors are fine, but they've done like 100,000 miles, so we thought, well, let's just try and keep reliability up. We'll stick some new injectors in there. Air temp sensors all in, and then all the brake pots and everything that's all done. So that's kind of your front end system here, and we put some extra vents in. Which way do you think? What do you think, guys? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I don't know. I think they look quite cool actually. They match both sides. I don't know. It's just something we thought, do different. Why not? I think they look a bit unique, a bit different to what we normally do. So move on to the middle of the car. It's the Mazda column, that's all in, and our Mazda dashboard. And this will then retain the standard gauges and instruments. We do the wiring for those. Again, we have to modify 2 or 3 different plug sets that come from the binnacle here, because you can't get the original wiring plugs. We have to modify them and make a daughter loom to plug into our loom, and for the ECU to wire up to these gauges. Now, talking about gauges, This is your standard instrument binnacle set, but you probably can't see, but there's a subtle difference here. Normally, these don't have like a silver white edge to them. So this is what we've done, and I'll show you on our demo car. Right, here we go. You see the differences quite visually now. It kind of makes them look like an individual instrument rather than the plain black that's in there. And it was just a subtle thing you could do with a paintbrush at home. So, you know, it's very DIY because this cover comes off, it pops off, and you can get in there, polish this up because it had a few scratch marks. We polished that up with some compound. But let's get on with the RX-5. So you can see straight away, she's off the axle stands or off the build trolley, and straight away she's on the deck now. Quite a bit has changed since then. So we didn't have really front corners on. The front corners were on, but none of the wing stays. So we got the RX-5 wing stays that are our ones that bolt up, we fabricate, and then they're bolt into the caliper brackets and the bottom bracket, and then you bend them accordingly depending on your wheel size. They're sort of a universal bracket. We've got a 205/60 13-inch on the front here. They fill that arch to the max. I mean, literally just about in, because for IVA, you've got to make sure that this radius, the tyre isn't protruding outside of it. So they'll put a piece of flat plastic there as angles, which is a 30-degree angle front and rear to make sure it meets those fields of angle. And then you make sure that you have the rear vision indicator in here. That angle is for the 5-degree rear angle test as well. So your side repeater in there. It's got our removable headlight brackets on it. We do our bracket here where we bolt it in, just down here, and comes up, and it has all of them in one. So you've got the indicator, and so indicator here, headlight in there. And if you're doing some track day racing, if you want to do that, because this class now, this car, the RX-5 140 brake-ish horsepower we expect, can run in the 750 Motor Club now under Class D, which is 230 brake horsepower ton. 230 brake horsepower per ton is still quite a lot. You're still going to have an absolute blast. So this will be eligible for that championship, which is why we're going to have a little, probably dabble in it with this particular car. And then you can see the front end's gone on, it's down. We've got some CXRs and some Toyos on there at the moment. We may be changing out the Toyos to something else. Keep them on as a road car, but if it goes on track for what the tyres that are required, we may step up the tyres. Now, something that we normally do, what we've seen here, last time you didn't see it, but Joe's have now made a sort of cold air intake, really. So it's going in, we've made this aluminium box, and then when it sips over the nose cone, it actually then creates a nice sealed area, so we can then fit in cold air feed nicely into that. So it's lots on the brackets on here. This secures the nose cone underneath, and if you want to, it's already got the holes here for an oil cooler. And then you can mount the top bracket, gets fixed into here. So if you want to mount an oil cooler, we can do at a later date. But if we just slip this on for a second, pop that on there, give it a wiggle and a jiggle, pop that on. You can see now this goes in and drives it in there, and it seals underneath here. So now we've got a nice cold air intake separated from the radiator, the fan and everything else. So might squeeze a couple of more horses, we know, we'll see. But it's a nice little feature for it. All the exhaust is done. We've done them with the wiring. We've got temporary, the bulkhead's all done, but we've temporarily hooked it up because we've wired in the ECU. It's got a Motorsport Electronics ECU on it now. We've done a reroute kit, which is from here and out. You can go the other way. We do it this way, but everybody's different. Header tank fill up from here onto your existing Mazda one. This is normally used for the heater matrix, but we use it to use for the header tank because it goes into the bottom hose. So it's nice and simple. Exhaust is all done, that's all trimmed off, and then if we move around into the interior, we've now got the dashboard in, and we've also fitted the can check gauge. That's canvassed across then, so from the ECU. So Motorsport Electronics ECU. So that's a nice little feature. It'll be able to give us oil pressure, oil temperature, a few other things. It does RPMs, it does clock, I think it does loads of different things features wise. It's a nice little thing, and it keeps the instrument standard, which we wanted. And then we just got the standard switch gear down here and a battery kill switch with our standard Mazda column. So it's all nice, neat and tidy. Actually, we'll see if she starts. It won't run particularly well, still needs a bit of mapping doing anything else, but we'll give it a go. So she runs now, it's all wired up and running. We just got to do some fine tuning because it's on a standard, complete standard. We used to tune in all the maps we've got all for turbo stuff because we don't normally run the standard ECU, Motorsport Electronics ECU on a standard engine, but we're going to give it a go and get it tuned, dialed in, make it all wonderful and nice. So now we've got the rear arches. I know this is a bit further away. We've got the rear arches all on, the LED lights, and just the number plate light for IVA and things like that. We're going to have a rain light, fog light up here in this area, which we'll do. And fix that on. Then it's just a boot cover, and then seats. Now, talking about seats, grab it, stay there, don't go away. Coming right at you. We've got this particular seat, which you hadn't seen. I think it was in the week or last week we spoke about it, which is the wider seat, which really is 20mm wider than stock, and it don't sound a lot, but it is. These are going to be going into this demo car. We wasn't sure what we was going to put in originally, but they're really strong. We've just had our harness holes at the back there chopped out quite nicely, so they all line up really smart, and that seat goes into there, and it literally fills the whole cockpit. So if you are Lewis, who's behind the camera, in fact, give me the camera, Lewis. Here's Lewis. Lewis is a giant. Lewis is 6'2", 38-inch waist.
Yeah, 36, I'd say, on a good day.
38, he's lying. 36, he fits in there very, very comfortably. So 6'2", very comfortable in the car. And then all harness tires lighten up. And this is, again, for IVA and also for racing, to make sure your seatbelts aren't chafing in the areas. The harness holes are nice and big, ready for that. We've just got to cut in the side ones, and they'll be available to purchase. They'll be on the website very, very shortly. Again, so if you are a bigger, stouter person, it's going to be perfect for you, and we'll put them in this, so the demo car will be able to talk about that. So on some temporary wheels on the rear, because we're talking about wheels. We don't know what to put on this. At the moment we've got some CXRs on the front where we are kicking about, and we've got some of these wheels that we are kicking about, so we can geo the car up. Right, so here we are with the RX-5 140. This is going to be the next demo. Went through last week, I think, wasn't it, Lewis? Last week? IVA process, all done. This vehicle's all now passed, but basically you're taking all your donor components, put it into our chassis bodywork and other framework that we do, mud guards, lights and everything else that goes through it. So end up with, you know, what is an engine here. Hello, BT is calling me, I'll take that call. Right, and now I've silenced them. Shows we're live. The engine in here, bit of detailing on it, get it looking nicer when you put it into the engine bay. It's a little bit of love and a little bit of fettling, that's all. But this is what you basically build into an RX-5 140. We've put a new manifold on. Don't necessarily need to do that. You can put the original one on, paint them black, or do a heat wrap on them, or etc. They look really smart. Throw it into the interior. We've got a little bench seat padded in here, so if you're really, really tall, you can do a little bench seat now for you. Padded tunnel top, standard bezel and instrument gauge is all in there. So, but we've gone with a little cage in this. So this particular one, we've just got to go into the dyno. We're just going to see what it's doing. It's running the Motorsport Electronics 360 ECU. And we're going to throw that on a dyno with RLM and see what power she makes. We say 140, that's what they are standard. We expect with the cold air intake and a few other little bits that we've done to make somewhere around a 150. If we get anything over 150, we'd be extremely happy. Yeah, and we're aiming for that sort of 230 brake horsepower per tonne, including the driver weight in there. So around the sort of late 600s with the driver, sort of 680, 700 kilos maybe max. With the driver, give you around that sort of 230 brake horsepower per tonne, which will be more than enough. We've got a little light and flywheel on here, make it response nice, but cracking little car. If you want to see more about this particular model, come down and see it, have a look at it in the flesh. We'll be on the road very shortly, ready for test drives, so give us a holler and we can book you in for that.